Hey guys, hey, it's Anne Marie, and this is the AntiHR. I'm going to ramble a little bit today because I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things that I'm seeing in the US news, and I'm going to share some of them with you just to honestly get them off of my chest and out of my mind. So, the Jeffrey Epstein situation is suddenly back in the news, and Congress is talking about voting on releasing the files. They're framing it like they need an act of Congress, House and Senate, to make that happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, to me, this is all a smokescreen. It is absolutely in their best interest, and when I say they, I mean the Republicans, to get this out of the way this year so that it doesn't blow up next year during the election. And hopefully, they're thinking you guys won't even remember it. And here's what people need to understand: anything less than a fully unredacted release of those files means absolutely nothing. Nothing. People deserve to know not only the current administration's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile, as I call him, but the entire network of powerful people who were tied up with him. Past presidents, past members of Congress, current members of Congress, past members of the judiciary, current members of the judiciary, CEOs, billionaires, all of it. His fingers were in a lot of pies, and it tells you a lot of how deep the rot goes. I first learned about Jeffrey Epstein from an old Vanity Fair profile. I've had a subscription to Vanity Fair for years and years. And even back then, as I read about him, I knew something wasn't right. They called him a financier, but nobody could really explain what businesses he actually had or where his money actually came from initially and throughout his life. And here we are, decades later, still no real answers, and that's not a coincidence. Now, fast forward to what's happening now. The occupant has directed his personal law firm, the Department of Justice, to investigate Epstein's ties to Democrats. Democrats only, not Republicans, not members of his own government, just Democrats. And you need to understand the game being played here. If there's a, quote, ongoing investigation, they can argue that the records can't be released, or much of the records can't be released. It is strategic. It is deliberate. It is a way to bury the truth while pretending to care about transparency. So at the same time that he's on his social media platform claiming it's a hoax, he's directing DOJ to investigate Epstein's relationship, but only with Democrats. Do you see how this is being distracting and chaotic all at once? And you have to ask, why is he so desperate to keep these records sealed? He's dying to release JFK records, MLK records, everything else. But Epstein, he wants to keep under wraps. Suddenly it needs to be classified. It's a hoax. It's complicated. Is it? Especially considering Epstein's supposedly unalived himself during the occupant's last administration. And yes, I said supposedly, and I meant to say that. Meanwhile, the only person still alive who knows the full truth, Ghislaine Maxwell, has been moved to a minimum security facility like she's on a yoga retreat. Somebody needs to check on her, by the way, because the silence is very telling. There's more between Trump, Maxwell, and Epstein than anyone wants to admit. Because if that wasn't the truth, why are they so desperate to hide the files? Now let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. This so-called falling out with the occupant. I don't buy an ounce of it, not one bit. He finally put out a statement recently against her after being weirdly silent for months while she was all over the place attacking him. Basically a little anti-Trump tour that she was doing. The story is that party leadership told her she couldn't run for Senate or governor because she would lose. And now she's mad at them. And that's Senate or governor of Georgia. No, I think she's a plant. I think she is strategically repositioning herself so she can run statewide and look moderate. I think that she will go right back to being who she really is if she gets in another position of more power. This woman has always been anti-Black, anti-Semitic, anti-anything that isn't white, straight, and Christian. And that doesn't just evaporate in 6 months. And she's exactly the kind of person many of you work with. Someone who appears to change, but whose behavior never actually changes. Believe people the first time. Pay attention to what they do, not what they say. Now look at what's happening in Congress with John Fetterman and the other, quote, moderate Democrats who just sold out their constituents and voted with Republicans to reopen the government without safeguarding people's access to health care, which is going to result in health care costs skyrocketing and people not being able to afford it. These moderates are more dangerous, in my opinion, than the far-right extremists because they pretend to be reasonable while quietly enabling fascism. This is the same playbook we're watching, in my opinion, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, her so-called reinvention. It's all political theater. It's all positioning. It's all manipulation. And you have to see through it. You have to see it for what it is. Because the chaos you're seeing, the Epstein distraction, the inner scene fighting, the staged conflicts, it's all intentional. They know that next year's midterm elections are the most consequential midterm elections probably in my adult life. They know that if they lose control of the House and or the Senate, a lot of this foolishness ends. And they're trying to drag out every distraction they can to muddy the waters and keep you unfocused. I won't be surprised if he starts a war very soon. Anything to keep you all off balance. And here's the harsh truth. Even if they release the Epstein files, even if they show photos, videos, anything, his supporters will not stop supporting him. They will justify anything that he does somehow. We're already seeing the narrative forming. Did you see that quote from Megyn Kelly? Did you see Megyn Kelly on her channel suggesting that, quote, 15-year-olds, unquote, aren't really children? Since when? Would you be fine with your 15-year-old daughter entering into a sexual relationship with a 50-year-old man? Would that be okay with you? Since when is that not predatory behavior? This is how grooming works. This is how fascism normalizes itself. This is how they condition the public to accept things that are unacceptable. But here's the part I want you to really hold on to. The real objective right now is to roll back every advancement regular Americans have ever made. Not just Black people, not just immigrants, everybody. They want to roll back workplace protections, workplace safety, civil rights, women's rights, healthcare access, economic protections, every safeguard working people rely on. And they're doing it while you're distracted. They're doing it while you're obsessing about Epstein files. Whether the Epstein files come out or not, nothing is going to change unless people vote these people out of office. Vote them out locally, vote them out at the state level, vote them out federally, vote them out. These people are showing you exactly who they are, and for the love of God, believe them. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, comment, but do so constructively. Don't forget to follow me across social media and subscribe to my website. This is Anne Marie. This is the Anti-HR. Thanks for watching.